Bitcoin is about inclusion, and we really want to keep that as kind of our mantra in the business, to be able to make it accessible for everybody and anybody. Doesn't matter where you work or how much income you make. We want to make it at a point where you can still come and participate and have that same access to Bitcoiners and information that everybody else has.
Chris, Frieda, I'm glad we could make this happen. I mean, you didn't know you were going to be here an hour ago. You were just walking down the beach. And that's a great thing about being here in El Zonte at Bitcoin Beach is you just bump into Bitcoiners. So actually, Roman Chimbera, as people know him, bumped into you guys and called me up and said, hey, you need to have them on the podcast. So would love to have you guys just kind of introduce yourselves and give us a little bit of your backstory, how you got into Bitcoin, and then it sounds like you started this new Bitcoin sports company and are getting ready to kind of make that your full-time thing. So would love to hear how that all transpired.
Yeah, no, Mike, great. Thanks for having us on the show. We've been big fans of yours for many years. Been in Bitcoin since 2017 and just trying to find our way, navigating the Bitcoin ecosystem and finding our place within it. Yeah, we started Bitcoin Sports Network. Basically, we launched the first tournament at the Nashville conference. We ran the Bitcoin Golf Championship, or the Samara Bitcoin Golf Championship.
And you were living in Nashville at that time, right?
Living in Nashville, yeah. We had been living in California, and things there just got too crazy. And
yeah, I was curious, was that part of your Bitcoin journey to move out of California to Nashville, or what brought that about?
Yeah, Nashville's a big Bitcoin community there. And so we knew if we were going to move, we wanted to move closer to Bitcoin. So it was kind of either Nashville or Austin.
Okay.
And we just figured Nashville had a better climate for us coming from California. And so we bit the bullet and made the trip and moved our family out there. And it's been kind of, running at 100 miles an hour ever since.
It's still a little warm there in Nashville. It's kind of like El Zonte.
It was snowing when we left yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's unusual for Nashville. That's when everybody freaks out and starts crashing their cars, right? Like that's
the city shuts down completely.
My brother lived there for a long time, and he's like, "Man, people in Nashville do not know how to drive when there's snow on the roads." And he said it's chaotic.
Yeah.
So. Cool. I'm Frieda. So Chris is the golfer in this whole entity, right? So he's been passionate about golf for years and years and years. And I'm an athlete myself. I consider myself a CrossFitter more than a golfer. And so we've just been brainstorming, when I first discovered Bitcoin, it was really due to my husband dabbling in just, the cryptocurrency world online, and then found Bitcoin and was very passionate about it, to the point where, we have this rule in our house where at the dinner table, there's no phones, there's no devices. And one evening he sat there, with our 1.5-year-old, I think at the time, or somewhere around there. And he started having his phone on the table. And I was like, honey, put it away. What can be so freaking important? And that was the point about, I think, 3.5 years ago or something, where Bitcoin dipped to the $3,000 mark. Okay. And he got up from the table. He's like, I gotta buy more. And I was furious.
Quick interruption with an exciting announcement for you guys. We have the Plan B conference coming to El Salvador. For those of you who have gone to the conference in Lugano in the past, you know what an amazing job they do. So I'm super excited. They're bringing it to El Salvador this year, January 30th and 31st. So we got a little promo video to show you guys, and then we'll get back to the podcast. But as you can see from the video, there's just a number of the top speakers from the space that are going to be coming to speak. We're also doing a full Spanish track, and I think this is the first time any conference has done a full Spanish track alongside the English track. So we have 2 stages that are going to be Spanish only. We really want to focus on having an impact on Latin America, so I'm excited that they're doing that. The other thing that they're really focusing on is circular Bitcoin economies. And obviously at Bitcoin at Beach, that's what we're all about, is circular Bitcoin economy. So we have actually been very involved with helping them put on this conference, and very much encourage you guys to make it part of your schedule for this year. We have a discount code for you also. So if you put in Bitcoin Beach, you will get a discount. So make sure you get your tickets now before they go up in cost. And then also make sure you get your accommodations, because it is going to be packed in El Salvador during this conference.
Furious. And so I was like, what is this thing? You better explain this here. I'm from a background of product management, understand some of the technical things. And I'm like, what is this code?
What is this Chuck E. Cheese coin that you're putting all our money into?
Yes. And I was already like, I never really invested in the stock market too much, just don't believe in the traditional fiat system too much. And so I dug a little bit deeper, started listening to Max and Stacy actually. And there was an episode where Stacy was talking about this use case of this woman being in a country where women don't have many rights. And she was saying, that she was a blogger on the side, earning a bunch of money, getting paid in Bitcoin, and able to escape the country as a woman, And for me, listening to that as a woman, first of all, I'm not discriminatory against podcasts that are run by guys, but I feel like a lot of the finance talk is always like guys. And I need something I can relate to, right? And so when I heard that, I was like, oh, my understanding opened up to the rest of the world. Not everybody can have a bank account. This is really we're in a bubble in the US. And this idea opened up. And then I was just like, what makes it scarce, right? And then the understanding that there's only 21 million, that was another whoa, aha moment. And then what really nailed it for me is nobody can control it. There's no marketing team on Bitcoin. It's just the people and their passion for living a better lifestyle. So that's how I found Bitcoin.
Everybody in Bitcoin's the marketing team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's how I kind of fell down the rabbit hole. And I was immediately like, we have to give this to the kids. And we wrote a little children's book. It's called Bitcoin for Kiddos. And that was our first little project that we did. And we really are trying to educate our two kids that are 4 and 7 years old on Bitcoin and what it is. And they already have Bitcoin wallets. And so that's where it started. And then how did the sports come in? I think we've both always been passionate about events, getting people together, having a good time. But we're always very, as you can see in our project with the Bitcoin for Kiddos book, in the education of Bitcoin. And how do we get more people into the room and just not be so just feeling cornered about a conversation about finances. And, I was in that boat. I made a 180. When I grew up, I wasn't really trained on money is there to be earned, but what is it really, right? How is it created? So I was on that journey. And anyway, so we created the first tournament, which was a huge success.
I decided to run the tournament, and Frieda was
give me a little background on how that came about, the idea of
after
Bitcoin golf tournament.
After the Miami conference, I knew the new conference was coming to Nashville, and we had just moved there, and I've been passionate about golf my entire life. I mean, I was one of those guys who used to watch 4 rounds of golf on TV every single day. I knew every player. I knew all their handicaps. I watched every interview, all of their issues. I was into it. And at one point, I even quit my job and tried to see how good I could get at golf. And I did that for about a year. And Frieda was like, you can't quit your job and do that. I said, when I run out of money, I'll go back to work. Okay, but let me just see what I can do here. And about 8 months in, I realized I was never going to be a pro golfer. And so I was thinking and watching more golf. And then the long drive competition started coming on. I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can maybe grow some strength and see how far I can hit it, because everybody always told me how far I hit the ball. So I was like, maybe that'll work for me. So I started hitting the gym and doing that. And I realized I didn't have the passion to just throw my back out for the rest of my life, learning how to hit a golf ball even farther. So I was like, okay. And I ran out of money and I had to go find another job. But golf was something I always played, 1, 2, 3 times a week, basically. And you meet a lot of people, and you really start understanding that golf is one of those sports that you can play until the day you die, and you can be as competitive with it as you want. And a lot of business takes place on the golf course or in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And those kind of conversations always appeal to me. So I put out a post on Twitter. I think it was Twitter at the time. Does anybody want to play golf in Nashville? And the post went viral. Like I had 100,000 views in something like 2 days, and it was the biggest post that I ever put out on the Bitcoin for Kiddos name.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm putting on a golf tournament. And so I tell Frieda, I'm going to put on a golf tournament. She goes, you're going to put on a golf tournament? You've never put on a golf tournament before. Like, how are you going to do that? I said, well, I have 12 months to figure it out. So I went to work and built the website and reached out to all my contacts and had a couple of initial sponsors come on board that are Bitcoin only that really helped help me spread the word about it. And before I knew it, we had 18 sponsors and 150 people and everybody had a great time. And the coolest thing about it wasn't necessarily the tournament itself, but it was just the people, the businesses in Bitcoin that a lot of people don't know about. There's artists, there's watch manufacturers, there's fashion designers, there's all these people who are trying to get the word out that they're Bitcoiners and they want to be part of this circular economy, but they don't really have a platform to be able to do that. So what the tournament allowed us to do was really create an opportunity for these other Bitcoiners to really show their proof of work to the rest of the community and help elevate their brands and awareness about what they're doing and help give them contacts into the Bitcoin community to help them grow their knowledge base and grow their orange pills in their pocket that they can then, of course, divvy out to non-coiners out there about Bitcoin. And then, everybody started saying, hey, are you doing this on Las Vegas? So I said, of course we're doing this in Las Vegas. And then a couple weeks later, I get this phone call from some friends over at Unchained, and they said, hey, Max Kaiser read an article that we wrote for Bitcoin Magazine talking about the relationship between golf and Bitcoin, and he wants to do a tournament. We don't have time for it, but we thought, hey, you did such a great tournament in Nashville, maybe you would be interested. So Max and Stacy are my orange pill. I listened to everything they did on RT, every interview they posted. I really like Max's personality and kind of how he goes about getting things done. I was always attracted to that.
Yeah.
And so when Max calls you on the phone, he's not somebody that you want to say, oh, well, hum and haw about it. He's a fast mover. He's not a, take it or
if you
you're out of here.
He'll
But
moved on to something else.
Exactly.
yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, let me figure out a flight. And flights from Nashville to El Salvador were cheap. I'm like, I'll see you next week. He's like, you're coming down? I'm like, I'm coming down. So booked a flight, came down and visited with them for a couple days and hashed out what we were going to do for the tournament. And then kind of Bitcoin Sports Network was really born at that moment. And so now we're hosting that event here on January 10th and 11th. It's a Friday and Saturday at El Encanto Country Club, about 45 minutes from El Zonte, to really highlight, the proof of work that in the relationship between golf and Bitcoin and really create kind of a festival, if you will, it was going to be a golf tournament that had sort of a small conference around it. And it's become kind of a conference that has a golf tournament around it. And it's just been really great working with the whole team that they have and all of the connections that Max and Stacy have brought. And, now we're talking with politicians in the El Salvadorian government, and it's really just blowing up.
Well, I mean, you guys have quite the roster of sponsors there, and I know the tickets sold out right away. All the slots sold out. So that, I was surprised at how quickly it all came together. Have you played the course?
Played it a couple times.
It's a tough course.
It's a very tough course, and I highlight that constantly in emails that we put together for all the participants and for the people on X.
Yeah, my dad loves golf, so he came down last time, and I went out with him and Chimbera. And I'm not a golfer; I haven't golfed in 20 years, and even my dad was like, "Man, this is a tough course." But it's beautiful. It's an amazing facility, and we had a great time. I actually played way better than I thought I would, so I was happy.
Yeah, it's not a long course, but it's definitely a challenging course. It's just cut right out of the rainforest.
Yeah,
so
some of you they're like, the hole's over there. You're like, where? They're like, you just got to go over that and trust that it's going to drop. So people have fun out there.
Yeah, and we actually have some PGA Pro golfers that are going to be
Really?
playing in the event.
Yep.
We have Pernilla Limberg. She's a LPGA Lindbergh. She's a PGA player.
Okay.
Been on tour for many years. Her and her husband are coming. Her husband caddies for her. And then we have another gentleman, John Mayer, who's new on the PGA Tour.
Okay.
And we have another guy named Matt McKay. He's a PGA Tour golf instructor out of Florida who's going to be coming down. He's going to be doing some warm-up stuff for all of the participants there and showing some golf mechanics and trying to, shave a couple strokes off of the people who are going to be playing down there. And then he's also playing in an event too.
So are they Bitcoiners, or what brought them to coming down?
They're Bitcoiners.
Okay.
They're Bitcoiners.
Awesome.
One of the things that's so amazing about this business is we're discovering how many professional closet Bitcoiners there are. And they're all looking for opportunities to kind of spread the gospel of Bitcoin, if you will, and really find opportunities in Bitcoin that they can connect with more people as well. So what we try to do with all of our events is we try to keep it affordable and fun for everybody. We could make these tournaments that only allowed kind of the elite 1%ers to be able to come down and play and, talk amongst themselves as they always do. But we really, Bitcoin is about inclusion, and we really want to keep that as kind of our mantra in the business, to be able to make it accessible for everybody and anybody. Doesn't matter where you work or how much income you make. We want to make it at a point where you can still come and participate and have that same access to Bitcoiners and information that everybody else has.
Sweet. Are you gonna golf in it?
I am not gonna golf.
You'll be
So
hanging out in the clubhouse with me.
yes, I will. And so it's kind of interesting. It started with we're just gonna golf. And then we're like, well, how many people can we have on this location? Because golf tickets, like you said, they were literally sold out, I think, in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we then were like, okay, we probably got to get more people in there. There were some requests of like, can I bring my kids? Can I bring significant others? And so we made that accessible now. So we have a total of 300 people that are going to be on the club premises. That's like the max that they can hold. And we also will have a little live stage now. So on Friday and Saturday, there's going to be a full program of Max and Stacy at some points on stage, and a lot of really cool Bitcoiner interviews. We're going to be live streaming that to X and to YouTube. And I'm just expecting, it's just everything has been going so fast. And it's interesting with this sort of group, how last minute some of the things come in that are just such a blessing. So I don't want to give away too much, but I think there's some really cool things that are going to be happening that are going to be big announcements from some of the organizations that are involved, and just looking forward to hanging out by the pool. And honestly, because we do allow kids, we have 2 kids, so I'll be involved there as well. Want to talk about the prizes a little bit. Those are cool. Like
Yeah.
Chris mentioned, we have, I come from an artist background, so I always am like, we should support artists. I feel like they make no money. So we have these winners jackets that were created by 21 Million Fashion. They are orange, Bitcoin orange. They're beautiful, handmade, handcrafted with materials from Italy, and just beautiful. And so the winning team will receive those along. For the first 3 prizes, we have watches made by Coin Vigilante watches.
Yeah, custom-made watches.
Custom-made
first,
watches
second, and third places,
with the
all
Max
with
and
different
Stacy.
dials on them. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Max and Stacy Invitational logo on them and things like that. It's just swag. That's like a passion for me. Getting involved into the little details and being able to really work with the people on the ground. I think a lot of people are maybe not inclined to put on a tournament like this because it's a lot of work on the ground. And I feel like we're just made for this because I'm such a detail person, and Chris is like, oh, bigger picture, and so we're yin and yang in that, so it's been fun. It's been a real blast.
I'd say I would bring my son, but I think he's banned from that golf course. One of his buddies' dad has a membership there. I don't know if they live there, or if they just have a membership, and they were there on a day when it was raining and cart path only, and they took the cart and just they didn't know what they were doing. They just tore the thing up.
Oh,
So
man.
I don't know if he's welcome back there. So yeah, it
Maybe
was,
if we
it was a
just
funny
keep him
story.
to the pool
Yeah,
only.
keep him to the pool. No golf carts.
Yeah, exactly.
He
Yeah.
told me that, and I was just like, he actually told him when my dad was here, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a golfer, so I was like, but my dad was like, you never do that. So
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, I'll ask Rick about that.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
my he's the greenskeeper there.
Okay,
He's
yeah,
my,
yeah.
he's my partner at
ask
the tournament.
Ask him about the kids that tore up.
I won't tell him you're related to him.
The good thing is, things grow so quickly here. I think it repaired pretty quickly. But I love that you guys are having kids there. I love that you've made it all this. Because when I first heard it, I was like, a golf tournament, yeah, okay. I'm not into golf. So, but then when I heard all these other things were going to come around it, and I think contingent of people are coming here afterwards for something that we're going to host. And so I love that it's like bringing all these people down and exposing them to El Salvador. Probably for a lot of these people, it'll be the first time they've ever come to El Salvador. That's super
Absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah, it's been really fun to just be the middle person of like, we kind of know what it looks like here, and being able to communicate that, and also some people coming for the first time for sure. And yeah, Bitcoin Beach and Good Life El Salvador is sponsoring our Friday night Bitcoin Beach meetup, which is awesome at El Suava House. And we'll be busing everybody down. Tunco Live is providing buses, which, man, those buses, you want to have a conversation on that bus, man. I cannot tell you. I cannot expose the guest list, but it's going to be a fun bus ride.
Awesome. So give us a little bit of the schedule for the tournament, because it's 2 days, right? Are the people golfing both days, or what's the...
Yeah, so both days will be stage entertainment. We are expecting on Friday, it's really a practice round for the golfers. So people check in at approximately 7:30 a.m. Check-in happens, and then at 9 o'clock, the official practice round starts. And the non-players are by the pool. There's things on stage. We also have the Bitcoin hardware store come out. If anybody wants to learn more about anything Bitcoin, they will be able to show you the actual hardware. They'll be able to show you, little things like what is a YubiKey, things like that. And so we're going to do some classes around that. Those are going to be happening Friday and Saturday. And then on Saturday is when the actual tournament hits. And so Saturday, 9 a.m. is the tournament start. And we'll be competing. We'll have around 3 o'clock is a 19th hole competition sponsored by Clean Spark, where everybody's going to shoot a ball from the pool area to the 18th hole. And who gets closest to the pin, there's another prize. And then then we have the awards party sponsored by Being a Fire, which is going to be awesome.
Nice.
Custom Keeping a Fire cocktails and things like that. And I expect dancing. There's a really cool Cuban band that Bo from Garden Zonte recommended to us. And so we're going to be doing that. And
So just remind me, I should know this, but so which day are we doing it in El Zonte? Is it Friday night or
yeah.
Saturday
So I was
night?
going to get to that.
Okay.
So that's what's happening on the site
Uh-huh.
at the golf course in El Canto. So on Friday after the practice round is when we will, at 3 o'clock approximately, when the practice rounds are done, we will go on the buses. They'll pick us up at the golf course, and then I'll bus everybody down to El Zonte. So El Zonte meetup is officially starting at 5 p.m.
Okay. I'm glad. I should know these things since since we're hosting it. But I thought it was Saturday. So
No, it's on
I don't live
Friday.
in the calendar world very much. You ask my wife. I tend to screw up dates. So this is good for
Okay,
me.
awesome.
So Friday night here,
Yeah.
and then is there other events Saturday night, or is
Saturday
everybody's
night-
kind of heading home then?
Well, Saturday night is the after party. So,
Okay.
with 300 attendees, we expect things not to necessarily go according to schedule with
Yeah.
everything. So
Is that at El Encanto?
it's at El Encanto. So prizes, awards are probably going to be happening around 4:30-ish, potentially 5 o'clock. Food starts, dancing starts. We expect people to be at least until 7 p.m., if not longer. So, the club is open for us all night. Depends on what connections are formed, how long people want to dance. We're really open. We're going to be there all night. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been a lot of people from all over the world have reached out to us, and of course, a lot of people won't be able to come because we can only have 300 people there. So it really is kind of an invitational, if you will, in that sense. And the great thing about the after party is, everybody's going to be there. It's going to be this excitement thing, but everything's going to be live streamed as well. So people who can't make it, we're going to be taking lots of videos, lots of interviews, lots of content for people who can't be there to kind of get a sense of actually being there and the type of conversations that take place there as well.
Oh, that's super exciting.
Yeah.
So where are you guys going from here? I mean, it sounds like this came from being just kind of a one-time idea till now it's your life. So what's the goal and where are you guys taking the company?
Yeah, so the next tournament after the Max and Stacy Invitational is the BitBlock Boom Bitcoin Golf Classic, which will be taking place the morning that the BitBlock Boom conference takes place in Dallas.
Okay.
So the tournament will be that morning, and then in the evening, BitBlock Boom always does like a nice dinner. And so people will be able to get there in the morning, play a round of golf, win some cool prizes, have a great experience, and then that day will really carry them into the evening at BitBlock Boom. And then after that, we have the Vegas conference coming up. So that'll be the second annual Samara Bitcoin Golf Championship. That'll be at Bali High Golf Course, which is about an 8-minute drive from the Venetian where the conference is. And that tournament is going to be off the hook. Like, I can't even tell you how much is being put into that, and the people that are coming out of the woodwork to try to help us really kind of top what we're doing here at the Max and Stacy conference. And then after that, we're going to
And have tickets gone on sale yet for that?
Tickets have gone on sale. Half of them are already sold
Okay,
out.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's been great, and we haven't even had a chance to really market it yet. So just based on the experience people had from the last year and just the grassroots effort that if you can tap into in the Bitcoin community, you don't really have to do much marketing. It just kind of spreads like wildfire all on its own. And then we have the SALT conference in August, which is called the Blockchain Symposium. And one of the things with the Bitcoin Sports Network that we're really trying to do is push the idea of more Bitcoin education in the space. And so the reason why we're using sports is as a platform in order to do that. It's because, okay, you may not be into finance, but you might be into sports. So come to our events, compete with it, have a great time, and learn about Bitcoin along the way. Or be a Bitcoiner, but also be really competitive and really show your proof of work in the tournament on the sports side. So you kind of get both sides of what a lot of people love about life, sports and Bitcoin.
No, I love that. And is it going to remain golf only, or you guys have any?
No, golf is where we started, but we're really branching out into other things. So we have golf. There's going to be probably pickleball, and we've been reached out about some ski events as well as surfing. Some pretty prominent, notable surfers that everybody from around the world would know about are actually Bitcoiners as well, and looking for more ways to tap into the Bitcoin community and really show their love for Bitcoin and the sport that they have succeeded at.
Well, I've got the spot for you. We actually just built a pickleball court in Punta Mongo, where we have another community center there. And that's also a great surf destination. So it could be, a combo pickleball surf tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it probably won't be football or baseball or basketball. Those are team sports that require a lot of coordination. So we're sticking mainly to the sports that you can do as a individual or as a two-person sort of team. And so growing up, I love sports. I did everything from cross country to running or to tennis to basketball, everything but football, basically. And so it's kind of in my blood. And so those are sports that I'm really passionate about. So we want to create these tournaments that people can really participate in, and they don't feel like there's this wall, like, oh, I don't know how to dribble, I can't play basketball. I'm not a fast runner, I can't play football, or something like that. So
how come you guys didn't do one at the Bitcoin MENA in Abu Dhabi this year? Did
it
you
was
look
too
at that?
soon.
Okay.
Too soon.
Yeah, next
That's
year.
the only reason. We've been reached out to do some things.
Because I hear they have amazing golf courses there. So, and obviously they love golf in that region. So it seems that, and they have the Kelly Slater wave pool there. So you guys could do a surf tournament there too. You could do both.
That would be fantastic. 2026, here we come.
Yeah,
we were trying to get into surf when we were there, but we got there too late. All the slots were taken. But the wave pool that they have there is amazing. I mean, it's the wave it creates is,
Well, that's not the only wave pool in the world.
No, that is true. That is true.
The thing I love about Bitcoin is it's global.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Well, hey, whatever surf things you guys want to do or stuff in El Salvador, we here at Bitcoin Beach are definitely down to help you. I love seeing that expanded and love seeing Bitcoin come into sports. And I think it's a natural thing. Even like we were pushing on the WSL surf tournament. We almost actually had a deal done where they were going to do all the prize money for the WSL, which is kind of the top end surf contest. They have one in El Salvador every year, and we almost had it inked. And then that was right when FTX blew up and all of that happened. And there was a couple big Bitcoin companies that were going to sponsor it, and then they were going to do all the prize money in Bitcoin to the athletes. And then when that blew up, everybody, it all just fell apart. So I love seeing like that pushing in the sports, and it's a natural thing too, especially in the sports world. You have all these people, especially in the professional sports, that are from different countries, and they have all these challenges of getting paid because their home banks, they can't receive things. And so Bitcoin is the solution for them just as much as it is for, the unbanked in a place like El Salvador.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that we found putting on a tournament in El Salvador. I mean, we kind of went from 0 to 100 on that. We didn't have any contacts in the events planning space down here in El Salvador. We didn't know anybody who had contacts into it. We kind of had to do our own research and build it up from there. And we had some good experiences and we had some bad experiences. And every bad experience when you're trying to run one of these events and you have a deadline is every bad experience basically sucks time away from you. You could have been spending on doing something that would have been beneficial to the event that you're trying to create. So one of the things that we really love about El Salvador is the willingness and the helpfulness of the population here to really try to work between the language barrier. Spanish is the most popular spoken language down here, and people know English, but typically it's a broken type of English. So using Google Translator and it happens. And everybody in the Bitcoin community uses WhatsApp or Telegram, so it's all by text message, which is good if you're trying to find information from a conversation you had in the past, but really difficult if you're trying to move quickly and navigate things through text message, if you will. But we've found some great sponsors and partners that have really helped us elevate what we're doing and given us some great ideas and different opportunities to really kind of put that exclamation point on the Max and Stacy Invitational down here, and will also help us for other events like surfing events that we plan on doing in the future down here in country.
Were you able to orange pill any of the vendors that are helping? And
I will speak to that.
Okay.
So we actually, when we got in touch with the golf course, El Encanto, they're like, oh, Bitcoin. Okay, well, we don't really do that. So that's my personal mission, to like orange pill the members that live at El Encanto as well as the club itself. And so they actually offered us this opportunity to go in on Wednesday night before the tournament happens and educate their members. And so that's going to be exciting. Max and Stacy are going to make themselves available too, to kind of bring the point home. And I'm just hoping that like I get, a couple eyes lit up there. It's going to be exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I just wanted to call out a huge thank you to Unchained, who's our head sponsor for the Max and Stacy Invitational. We've just been blessed to have them as our head sponsor. It's just been phenomenal working with them.
They were the ones that kind of got this whole thing going too, right?
Exactly.
By reaching out to you guys.
Yeah, and they were also one of our first sponsors at the Bitcoin Golf Championship in Nashville too.
Okay.
Yeah, and then huge shout out also to Bitcoin Magazine, who really made the tournament in Nashville happen to the point that it did, I think. They just, it's just, anything Mike gets his hands on, it's just like.
Yeah, they helped. We were 90% sold out, and 90% of the sponsorships were sold out too. But Bitcoin Magazine definitely brought some key players to the game.
Yeah.
And when they came to the after party at the event and kind of saw everything that was put together, it was kind of just like when you thought, okay, a golf tournament, meh. But then when you start hearing about it and you start seeing the experiences people have and the business that I find out only afterwards is kind of testimonials of what people are doing and deals that got made that I had nothing to do with, but provided an atmosphere where they could happen outside of the conference, that they were really like, okay, we need to have more of this. Like we're partnering with you more. We're doing more. Can you do this? Can you do that? And so it's really on us to say, yes, we can, or yes, we can't. Like the surf competition, we were planning to maybe do it in April down here, but after looking at the timeline and what we would need to do, there's just not enough time to do that. Or like, you're asking about, MENA and something in Abu Dhabi. It's like, yes, we would have loved to do that, but there's got to be enough time to be able to set that stuff up. And so we're a young company, but we're hungry. We know what we're doing. And, we're just building it out as fast as we possibly can.
Yeah. Well, that is super exciting, and this is like you're moving into doing this full
That's it.
time. Like this
Yep,
is your
100%.
life. You're
Yep.
you're jumping off that
We love
cliff,
it.
and yeah, I love it.
Well-
Leaving the fiat world.
We
Yeah.
jumped off the cliff many years ago, but now we finally found the landing
The
spot,
landing spot.
Yeah.
in Bitcoin. That's really helping us,
Yeah.
be fulfilled as individuals.
I love it. Well, I know you guys have an appointment to get to, so I appreciate you coming in and kind of squeezing this in. But I want to make sure, well, one, is give you a chance if there's anything else that we've missed. I want to make sure that you get that out there, but also let people know how they can follow both of you, how the company, where they can buy tickets for future golf tournaments. I don't know which ones are on sale yet or not, but definitely people go out and get them now, because I saw here in El Salvador, I mean, literally, they just like went. So make sure you get your tickets for Vegas now, because if you wait,
Yeah.
you'll be you will not be hitting any balls if you wait.
Yeah, you can find us on X. We are BSN_events. You can also find, I think there's about 15 non-player tickets left to this event coming up this weekend if you're in El Salvador already, at the Max and Stacy Invitational.com. We also have tickets for BitBlock Boom that are under Bitcoin Golf.
The easiest way to find us is to go to bitcoinsports.network, and we have links to all of our current tournaments
Okay.
there.
Perfect. Thank you.
All in one place.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Well, I'm assuming this is your guys' second time in El Salvador, or is it?
My third,
My
Frieda's
second.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any thoughts of making the move from Nashville down here, or is that a little too much too soon? For
I
you
was
guys?
I was interviewing your son on that international school a little
Uh-huh.
bit. I think that's one aspect for us, right? Where we're just like we're parents of young kids,
Yeah.
and like, do we homeschool? How do we do this? I think we are really ready for this international lifestyle. So I think the hub will be in Nashville for a while, but we definitely want to spend more time down here. Yeah.
I think my kids were 7 and 9 when we moved down here.
Okay.
And so we homeschooled really till they were in high school. And then in high school, they wanted to go to, quote, real school. And, so they go into San Salvador every day, which is, a little bit of a trek. It's my son, I don't know if he told you, but he has to get up at 4:30 every morning.
Yeah.
He goes and he works out in our gym, and then he's on the road by 5:30 to get to school. So it's a little bit of sacrifice for that aspect. But I think there's plans to do an international school on the coast, just because there's so many Bitcoiners coming in, and other expats too, but primarily Bitcoiners. And so I know there's talk of a couple different schools opening up much closer. So yeah, keep your ears open, because there might be some other options.
Yeah. And it's definitely been exciting to see how much development has been going on. Some of it is exciting. Some of it is like, are we doing too much too
Yeah.
fast? But yeah, it's been cool to have been here like 2.5 years ago and now come back. There's a lot of change happening. So
Well, it's nice too about the where you guys are having the tournament, El Encanto. They also sell homes in there, and and it's kind of like 20 minutes from the city and 20 minutes from the coast. So it's kind of a nice way to kind of split the difference for people that want to kind of have it all. So
Yeah.
I know there's a number of Bitcoiners that have bought homes in that area. So
yeah, definitely.
Max is a very busy person, and when I was out here visiting with him and Stacy putting together the tournament, he kept saying, "Okay, we got to take a break here. I got to go out and run out and do some things." He's like, "You're welcome to join me if I want." And I'm like, "Okay, that's great. Where are we going?" He's like, "Oh, I have to go check out some properties." So we met with a real estate agent and got a chance to look at a couple homes while he's building his home down here on the golf course. And it's one of the great things about Bitcoiners is you see their persona on podcasts or on interviews or whatever, and then when you meet them in person, you're like, oh wow, this person is super genuine, they're super nice, not what you would expect, they're not pretentious, they're just people who are passionate with the same passion that all of us Bitcoin maximalists have about just spreading the word and the good vibes that come with Bitcoin.
yeah, no, and that's what I love living here in El Salvador, specifically in El Zonte, and I say this all the time, is it's like you're living at a Bitcoin conference. It's like nonstop. I mean, I'd never met you guys before a few hours ago, and now you're sitting in here and we're doing a podcast together. And that happens on a pretty regular basis. And there's nowhere else in the world, I think, that you could live where you could kind of have that natural interaction. And, with Bitcoiners, when you meet, often you're not usually not talking about Bitcoin, but your values align in all these other areas. And so you build these kind of deep friendships pretty quickly. And so that's the thing I love about being here and kind of in the epicenter of it all.
Yeah.
Makes life very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys get to your appointment that you got. I know you guys got business to take care of and a lot coming up in the next week. So tell everybody to go check out your website. And if you're in El Salvador and looking for tickets, there's a few more available.
Yeah, check out our website. Go there frequently. We're always updating it with new events in 2025, later in 2026. There'll be skiing, there'll be surfing, there'll be pickleball, there might be tennis, there might be one or two other events going on. There might be some, summer ski fest or a mountain bike thing happening in Colorado. So yeah, just keep an eye out for us. And when we come to a city near you and it's a possibility for you to attend one of our events, we hope you do.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.